Okay, so we have covered which all subject? We have covered geography and economy, which were last 5 year questions which were asked in CAPF. So continuation of that we'll be covering today, polity. Okay, we will cover it to 2020, I guess. Okay, so let's start. The first question is, which among the following President of India, who among the following President of India sent back the Post Office Amendment Bill 1986 for the reconsideration of the Parliament? So only two bills have been, लक्ष्मीकांत में भी दिया हुआ है कि only two bills are that president has interrupted or anything pocket veto type कुछ किया है. So it was Gyani Jail Singh. Okay, so it is a factual thing but you cannot do anything about it. CAPF में काफ़ी अजीब क्वेश्चंस पूछे होंगे, ठीक है, एंड इनका सबसे फेवरेट क्या है? नॉट. हर चीज़ में नॉट लगा देना. सो इट्स रियली टफ कहा जाएगा क्योंकि लास्ट 2-3 ईयर्स में ना CAPF इज़ क्वाइट फैक्चुअल. थोड़ा UPSC में ऐसे क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते हैं अभी तक, बट यू नेवर नो, ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ उठा के डाल देंगे. सो ज्ञानी जेल सिंह, आर्टिकल 111. what is article 111? What is checks and balances ordinance under which one among the following article of the Constitution of India a member of civil services, whether of the union or of a state, seeks protection from unlawful dismissal from service? So it was in news at that point of time because Jammu and Kashmir के कुछ लोगों को हटाया गया था. So it's simple, that is 311. But what are the other things? Article 311 is related to recruitment condition. 315, our favorite, that's why everyone is preparing for this. You must be knowing that, UPSC. And article 320 is functioning of Public Service Commission. Okay, these questions, though they are somewhat related to polity, but we have already covered in an economy video. If you haven't watched that, go and watch that. Plot and report, control of expenditure, and here this is expenditures written. So most common sense, by common sense we can, common sense more than that risk. Okay, now this is something environment type question has been asked, so you can use your tricks here. Some rights contained in part 3 of the Constitution of India are enforceable against the state only. Okay, right. Some rights contained in the part 3 of the Constitution of India are enforced in favor of the citizens only. Okay, so what are the articles which are exclusively for Indians only? 15, 16, 19, 29, 30 article. Okay, and third one, some rights contained in part 3 of the Constitution of India are enforceable against both the states of individual. So all three are correct. Even by using tricks you will be getting a right answer. Under which one of the following article of the Constitution of India the seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in every municipality? This is again a tough random question. I would say questions of CAPF are more tougher than UPSC for sure, because there is no such pattern. It's random. Under which one of the following article? Okay, so it is 243T. Okay, so we have to see what others are. So 243R is basically related to composition of municipality, and 243S is related to constitution and composition of wards, and 243 is related to election and election to the municipalities. Okay, next is, which of the following statement is or are correct? The abolition of the Official Secret Act 1923 was recommended by 2nd ARC. Next is, the Right to Information Act is enacted in 2005. We know this is for sure. This is a tough question. because basically it was not abolished. Okay, so second ARC has recommended to bring some reforms. Okay, it was said in 2005. So, and we have to know that how many which was the first ARC. It was under Morarji Desai in the year 1966, and second was in 2005 under Veerappa Moily. We have to know that. This question, this is also we have done in economy video. Okay, this one is also done in economy. This one is also done in economy. Okay, so 15th Finance Commission was under Mr. N.K. Singh, and 16 is under Mr. Arvind Pangaria. Okay, now let's do 2023. Which of the following statement about national emergency is correct? Okay, the proclamation of national emergency may be made by the president only when the security of the Indian or any part of thereafter is threatened by war or external aggression. Correct. The government of India acquires power to give direction to state on any matter. That is also correct. The proclamation of emergency does not suspend the state legislature. Okay, this is also correct. But next one is the proclamation of emergency can continue for maximum period of 6 months at a time only if approved by resolution of both the houses of parliament. So we all know that emergency can continue for infinite period of time. It just has to be approved every 6 months. Okay, and this provision was basically added through 44th amendment. We have to know all these things. Okay, next question is the National Human Rights Commission was established under the statute of, so this is also simple, the Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. That's why we see na in UPSC questions about what are the constitutional body. It was some year it was asked about law commission, what are the constitutional bodies. So everything is linked somewhere or the other, because the domain of asking questions for polity is limited. It is not like history, you can ask anything. Okay, there is limited things you can ask, so that's why concept and themes repetition is more possible in polity than in other subjects. Geography is also one of those. In which of the following statement with regard to impeachment of the judge of the Supreme Court of India is not correct? Okay, not correct is asked. Let's see. The judge will be removed after the president gave his order for removal. That is correct. The committee finds the judge guilty for misbehavior or that he suffers from incapacity. That is also correct. The motion is investigated by a committee of 3 judges, 2 judges of Supreme Court and a distinguished jurist. And this one is wrong. A motion addressed by the president signed by at least 100 members of both the houses of parliament. We know that in Lok Sabha it has to be 100 and 50 in Raj Sabha. These many people has to sign it to introduce a motion of impeachment. Now this question is asked, which of the following is not an official language of UN? So we know that there are 6 languages, official language of UN. Arabic is one of those. German is not. Spanish and Chinese is there, and English is there, and Russian and French is there. This is also one of these random questions. The judge of Supreme Court in People Union of Civil Liberty versus Union of India 2004 is related to what? So it is related to right to information. But we can use logic of this, like we know that RTI came in 2005. So which one is the nearest one? Right to information now. That's how you can at least make some intelligent guessing. Which of the following deals with habeas corpus? So this is a tough one. So it is Additional District Magistrate Jabalpur versus Shivakant Shukla 1976. Which among the following statement regarding the power of the High Court under Article 226 of the Constitution of India is not correct? Not correct is something which is very favorite in CAPF. Every question has to be asked like not correct. So this is correct. It can issue writ of habeas corpus. Writ can be issued to enforce any right, and it can be issued to any authority. This is not wrong. This is wrong. This power can derogate the power. No, it doesn't derogate it. Basically, it complement each other. Okay. Which of the following is not correct? Again, banking exclusively under union list for sure. Bankruptcy and insolvency. This is sometimes confusing, but this is in concurrent list. Legislation on criminal laws barring exception is subjected under concurrent list. So this is also correct. Which one is wrong? Third one, interstate trade and commerce is subjected under, it's not state list, it is under union list. Okay, interstate trade. Again repeated, this question was dropped. This, who among the following was the first pro tem speaker? Tough question. Pro tem speaker to be unanimously elected as Speaker of Lok Sabha. So it was Mr. Somnath Chatterjee. And who was the first speaker? So it was G.V. Mavlankar, Mr. G.V. Mavlankar. CAPF 2022. Okay, we'll do it till 2020. Because after that it turns to be more factual. Okay. The landmark case of DC Wadhwa versus State of Bihar in the Supreme Court is related to which of the following? This is again, cases have been asked in CAPF, but it is not so till now in UPSC. But at least you can flip through those pages in Lakshmikant at the back now, where is about these cases. Just go through that once. The landmark cases of DC Wadhwa or State of Bihar is related to promulgate ordinance. Which of the following is not a feature of Indian federalism? So Indian federalism is based on principle of separation. Okay, this is on which it is not, there is nothing called separation in this, and it is based in court can interpret the constitution and power, that is for sure. Sources of revenue for the union government and the state legislature are specified, that is also correct. Power of the union and state are specified in the constitution, that is also correct. Which of the following is the sources of laws in India? So constitution is, statute is, customary law is, case law, everything is. Okay, you need to, don't have to overthink in these type of questions. Which one of the following is or are the function of the cabinet secretariat? So both are correct, to measure the interministerial coordination and management of major crisis situation in the country. If it will be cabinet secretariat won't work, then who will work? Okay, the main manpower is behind everything is this now, so this is also correct. Which of the following statement about committee on public undertaking is or are correct? Okay, so there are more members from Rajya Sabha than in Lok Sabha. So we know that 22 members, 15 from Lok Sabha, 7 from Rajya Sabha. So how is it possible? So this is wrong. Okay, this part is wrong. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So that is correct, and usually it is from opposition, and the tenure of members is 1 year. So it's basically public undertaking committee are basically formed to examine PSUs and CAG report basically. Which of the following statement is not correct? So which one is not correct? The censure motion cannot be moved against the entire, okay, cannot, but it can be moved against the entire council of ministers. Okay, it can be moved against a single minister also. No confidence motion cannot be moved against a single minister. It has to be passed to, and if it passed, no confidence motion is passed, then the government has to resign. That is one thing. That is the basic difference between censure motion and no confidence motion. Which of the following is correct with respect to appointment of district judges? We know that district judges are appointed by governor in consultation with the High Court and the concerned states. Simple question. Swan Singh committee is related to fundamental duties, and one more thing, we'll see that in later. What is the term of the office of chairperson of the member of National Human Rights Commission? So basically 3 years and 70 years of age. So now we are in 2021. Which of the following powers of the Supreme Court is also conferred to High Court? So we know that both are court of record. है ना? Supreme Court is court of record under 1 to 9. Tell me about High Court in comments. What is that article? Constitution of India does not guarantee which one of the following fundamental rights. So it is right to property is not a fundamental right, and it was removed from which article, which amendment? That also you should tell me. Which among the following fixes the date of election of the Speaker of Lok Sabha? So it is done by President. This is a good question which can be asked, and it sometimes gets confusing also. Secretary of General, because Lakshmikant is sometime. Which one of the following statement with regard to directive principle is not correct? Okay, they are not enforceable, we know that. They can be related to social and economic justice, we know that. They can be related to giving free legal aid, that is also correct. But they can override all the fundamental rights. This is wrong. Okay, which of the following statement about the Supreme Court is not correct? So this is correct. The Supreme Court has the vested with advisory jurisdiction. The Supreme Court may refuse to provide opinion. Law declared by Supreme Court is binding on all courts. That is also true, but this is wrong, because under Article 129 and 144, the Constitution of India, the Supreme Court has a vested power to punish contempt for. It is 129 and 142. 142 is basically related to complete justice. It is very much in news. 142. Recently, our Vice President has said something about Article 142. Which one of the following statement about Public Account Committee, same questions, okay, 15 members, 10 members, okay, is correct? So this is wrong, because we already know there is 22 members, 15 from Lok Sabha and 7 from Rajya Sabha. The Finance Minister is ex officio, that is also wrong. 1 year tenure, that is correct. Which of the following can be appointed as a judge of Supreme Court? Okay, so he an advocate who has practiced for at least 10 years in any court. Okay, we would have marked this, but it is written in any court, because it's basically written that in High Court or any other court he has to be practicing, not any court. The judge for at least 3 years, that is also wrong. A distinguished jurist, that is correct. Which one of the following statement about personal liberty is not correct? So this is a tough question. Not so tough, because we already know the majority views of A.K. Gopalan case is nothing to do with this. Okay, so these questions are random. In exam hall, if you get, you should leave these type of questions. Which of the following statement with regard to preamble to the Constitution is not correct? Written not correct. Okay, so the term secular and democratic was not there in the preamble originally. Is this correct? No, this is correct. Okay, the preamble contains the basic structure of the Constitution of India. That is also correct. By itself, the preamble is not enforceable in court of law. That is also correct. What is wrong? This is wrong. The Supreme Court has held that the preamble cannot be considered as an aid to legal interpretation of the Constitution where the language is ambiguous. It is clearly mentioned in Lakshmikant. Which of the following fundamentals is not being provided to a person? Protection against the prosecution and punishment of the same offense more than once, this is provided. The act as a witness against himself, that is also provided. Right not to be convicted of any offense except for violation of laws in force at the time of commission, that is also correct, but this is not wrong. To refuse to give his or her samples on handwriting as evidence to support. Okay, so this is not a fundamental right that is provided. The Electoral College for electing the President of India does not include who? So it does not include member of Legislative Council. We know that only elected members are there. Elected member of Rajya Sabha, elected member of State Legislative Assembly and Lok Sabha. The Constitution of India contains no provision for the Constitution on municipalities in every state. For what? This is the most random thing. Nagar Panchayat is there, municipal corporation is there, and municipal council is there. But urban panchayat, there is nothing said about urban panchayat. Which of the following, you will be understanding how paper pattern has changed. Because in 2024, 2023, and I would say 2022 also, the paper level was good. But now see, so there's no point of doing more than this. Okay, just watch it and you'll be done. Which of the following power has been not been conferred to the President of India? So it is to decide at his discretion any qualification regarding disqualification of a member. It's not on his discretion. His discretion is about appointment of Prime Minister, to grant pardon, to remove judge of High Court. Which of the following statement with regard to Menka Gandhi versus Union of India in 1978 is not correct? Not correct. Everything is not correct. Okay. So this is wrong. The right to life under Article 21 does not include right to die. Okay. What is included? It was held that under Article 19, Article 21 are not watertight compartment. It was held that law coming under Article 21 may not satisfy the requirement of Article 19. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's quickly do this CAPF 2020. Okay, also. Okay, mostly simple questions are there. Static. Okay, nothing. Just see. Okay. In relation to fundamental duty enshrined in the Constitution of India, which one of the following is not correct? Okay. Fundamental duties were not originally part. We know that safeguard public property, abjure voice are fundamental duties. They are not enforceable through writs. That is also correct. They may not be used for determining constitutionality of the law. This is wrong. Okay. Everything can be used for determining this constitutionality. The governor of a state may exercise discretionary power when he or she is not convinced by the advice. Okay. The constitution requires him to act in his discretion. Appointing as an administrator of adjourning duty. Okay. All of the above are correct. Which of the following is not true about socialism? So it emphasizes on the centrality. It's a very simple. Which of the following statement with regard to censor motion is not correct? Okay. So this is not correct. To leave a house is required. Leave of the house is required to move the motion. That is not required. The government is free to fix the time and date. Okay. It can also be moved against the entirety of the constitutional minister. The speaker decides whether the motion is in order or not. Okay. Now see this. So we are done. Okay. Now 2019 is starting. So we have covered most of the topics. These polity questions are different in CAPF and UPSC, that for sure. But some things, even if you want to do sectional, no, that someone wants to do check his conceptual clarity, then watch this and do PYQs of every past 10 years, because doing PYQ is much better than solving random questions. Okay, random test series make random questions, but UPSC PYQ, we know that these questions are random and they can be repeated again. Okay, I'm not saying these questions are not random, but they can be repeated. Okay, mocks questions are never going to be asked in a real exam. Okay, only previous year questions has much more chance of being repeated. Okay, so hope this would help. Okay, we have covered it till 2020. Okay, after that it's not much required covering. It will be a waste of time. So okay, then see you in the next